It is 2:30 in the morning, but I finally found an idea with this beat I'm excited about. If you're new, we've been wrestling with this drum and bass groove. It's a great groove, but I just haven't found like a thing that I like, and I really want the bass in this drum and bass song. And I really want the bass in this drum and bass song to be a central point of the song. And the last drum and bass song we wrote, it was like the bass was there, but it was really like the melodies and synths that were doing the carrying of the piece. And so I want to make sure the bass is important. And we've been wrestling with basses for like a week now as we've watched tutorials and learned how to make basses and then tweaked them a little bit, made them our own, then listened to it and been like, but this is not good for this and I don't like the way this sounds. But I made a sound today. Just tell me what you think about this. It's clearly not done. It's clearly not in like a finalized place, but this is the first time we've had an idea where I thought the bass actually had bones that I'm going to keep. Like, I'm going to keep this sound around. I really like this sound just at its fundamental. It needs a lot of tweaking, but there's a couple things we're doing here that I think is really cool. We built this sound entirely from scratch. Not only did we build this from scratch, I'm really proud of myself. I built this wave. I tweaked these fundamentals to give it this shape. I just sat there and just messed around with the initialized patch until I found one that I thought sounded good. I really liked this sound. And then from there, we built a few kind of long, 2-measure long LFOs here, as well as, this is really fun. We did Shaperbox in the DAW. This just automates the level of the wave, so it's literally, you can see it doing Shaperbox, doing LFO tool just in Vital. It's not as precise for sure, so I don't know if I'll keep this really, but it was kind of fun to like try this, and it helped me for right now where I didn't want to mess around with Shaperbox. I just want to mess around with Vital. The first thing that I think is really awesome is I finally figured out a thing I've been trying to figure out for forever. Years ago, I went to Mr. E's music store in Fort Worth, Texas. I don't think the store even exists anymore. And they had all these big digital audio workstation keyboards. And one of them was this Roland KX6 or something. And it had this one patch on it that just sounded like this beehive. The name had bees in it of some sort. And I would just sit there and just play it. And it sounded so good. And I've for years been trying to figure out, how do I make that sound? But the sound was a saw wave, but with a lot of voices and heavily detuned. I've been trying to make that sound for forever, and every time I'd ever like messed around with like adding voices, it was almost always in like some synth that had it like the detune like in this area. And like the voices is nice and it's clearly in the right direction, but I was just always like, it's so much more uniform than the sound I'm looking for. What am I doing wrong? And today, for the first time, I was like making this and filtering it, and I was like, this needs more voices. And I was like, wait. And I clicked for a second and I realized, oh my God, if I just turn up the detune, I think I'll get the sound I'm looking for. And I still feel like the edge at the beginning of the sound is not as like agitated as the sound I remember from that one random keyboard, but baby steps. I'm genuinely so happy that I figured out how to make that sound. So yeah, this is just automating the level of the detune. You watch it kind of moving up there, and it's also automating how much of the mix of the chorus. So just kind of like doubling down on that effect. And then this one is automating the cutoff. And then these are both synced to the internal clock, so they just go with the piece, in time to the piece, don't have anything to do with how well I articulate the notes. And then in the effects, just the multiband is like really like accentuating the highs here. We're cutting off a little bit of the lows. I thought about adding some reverb, but it made it a little bit muddy. And really the multiband, the compressor is what's giving it that grit. When you turn this off, it's so much, I don't know what, I need to learn about multiband compression. But then our chord progression is in major, which usually that sound is something you would not put in major. And this is the thing I think is really good about this and really cool and unique, and like no one else is really doing this right now, at least that I'm not hearing. Making this really major. I think is cool, and he put it with a synth. You know, something like that. You know, something like that. I don't know. I think that there's a bones there. There's bones there that are good. Now, I do want the bass to be really important here. I don't want it to just be leads and melodies driving it. But this sound does make me excited. The bass is like, it's aggressive, and like when it changes chords, it's like boom, it goes down, but there's still like that real rich, distorted kind of sound to it. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So I'm excited to be getting places. My ear is still stopped up, so I'm hopefully going to an ear doctor tomorrow and getting them to clean that out. But that's all banking on me getting an appointment, and it's the weekend, so I haven't been able to book one. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this is all good. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.